crystal clear waters touched by the heat of the sun. An inviting scene and a freediver's paradise. But take away that comforting warmth and you've got an altogether different prospect. Croatia's Domagoj Akovac has come to Gairanga, 320 kilometers northwest of Oslo, to set a new record for free diving under ice. The first question is why?
Obviously, diving under the ice is a relatively new discipline, created to make things more exciting. I'm also keen on warm water and normal diving. What's important with cold water is that the diver doesn't get cold before he even gets into the water. He needs to keep himself warm. If he can do this, then the diving conditions under the ice are the same as in warm water.
Domagoj may think there's not much difference, but the freediving federations disagree. This extreme discipline of a growing sport is not recognized by them, making this record attempt in Norway's frozen fjordlands an unofficial one. But is it harder to dive under the ice? We asked Domagoj's coach and manager.
It's a double-edged sword. Cold water can be an advantage for the diver. It affects the body positively. The heart beats slowly, and it calms the diver down. That is, of course, if he doesn't get cold. If that happens, then everything goes the other way around, and it becomes a much bigger problem. Additionally, the preparations in a warm environment are much easier, more pleasant, and psychologically better for the divers.
Warm or cold, Domagoj doesn't really mind. His love affair with the water is long-standing.
My mother put me in the water when I was 9 months old. I instinctively started waving with my arms and legs, and that's how I learnt to swim. After that, I started looking under the water with a mask, looking for shells and small fish and everything else that's under the surface. That's how I developed a passion for diving, to be underwater for as long as possible, naturally, without any artificial aids, and with just one breath.
Now, aged 22, he holds the Croatian national record of 65 meters in the free immersion discipline, where a diver pulls himself up and down on a rope. He can hold his breath underwater for 6.5 minutes and has free dived to 150 meters. But it's not all about the records.
I like to socialize with people who freedive and people who love nature. That's my first aim. If, while doing that, I can break a few records, national or international, that would be great as well. But it's important that I'm with the kind of people who understand what I'm doing because they're doing the same thing themselves.
From the Mesopotamians of 6,500 years ago to modern-day divers, the essence of free diving has remained the same, to go as deep or for as long as possible on a single breath. The physical effects of descending to great depths are astounding, meaning that a free diver needs to be in top physical and mental condition.
I prepare myself throughout the whole year. I exercise every day, diving, going to the gym, swimming pools, running, and trips to the coast. Before a record event or a competition, I've got a different type of preparation. In the morning, just before the dive, I meditate and do my breathing and stretching. The exercises that I do are common among the divers, and they're very important in relation to the dive itself and the pressures experienced.
Domagoj's exercises simulate what happens under the water. Due to the increase in pressure, the lungs can be compressed to the size of an orange. There's danger to the eardrums if the pressure cannot be equalized, and the body's mammalian diving reflex kicks in. When deprived of oxygen, the heart slows and the blood vessels constrict, redirecting blood to the vital organs. In addition, blood shift occurs. In order to prevent the lungs collapsing, they fill with blood from other parts of the body, a phenomenon Domagoj can replicate on land. After months of planning, the dive site itself has to be prepared. At 1,000 meters above sea level, a freshwater lake known locally as Langevatnet is thick with ice. 2 meters thick after the heaviest snow in Norway for decades, and it takes 2 full days to get through.
Okay. Chair, and then
Once the hole is cleared, a weighted, graduated rope is lowered to the required depth. Both the dive rope and guide rope for the safety divers are secured with ice screws, as care is taken to reduce the risks in what is an inherently dangerous sport. Every dive taken treads the fine line between adrenaline rush and serious danger.
For most of us, there's a margin between a good dive and a bad dive. The dive can be a happy experience and an adventure, or on the other hand, it can be quite bad, dramatic and frightening. It's very important to remain mentally focused. If one remains focused, the dive is amazing, it's beautiful, and the feeling afterwards is unrepeatable. But for everybody who freedives, the worst potential danger is unconsciousness, or what we call samba. This is a consequence of a lack of oxygen, and usually happens when the oxygen in the body drops below the level where we remain conscious.
Armed with just a 3mm thick summer wetsuit in water temperatures of 2 degrees Celsius, Domagoe descends into the abyss. But his worst fears are soon to be realized. After a successful dive to a new under-ice depth of 56 meters, Domagoe returns towards the surface.
On my way up, everything was fine. I had plenty of air and I was relaxed. But the rope wasn't properly aligned in the ice hole. It was on the edge of the ice. I didn't look above me on the way up as I was focused on the dive, so I didn't see the edge of the ice, and I hit it with my head. It was like being hit by Mike Tyson. When I reached the surface, I was unconscious. I had samba.
The next day, despite suffering a headache and a stiff neck, Domagoe is ready to try again.
20 meters to you, when I go up, they will watch me to the surface, till the surface.
The previous day's attempt is invalid. Divers must be in full control after the dive and have received no assistance. Fewer safety divers are used to improve visibility, and this time the guide rope is centered in the hole. After the usual preparations, Domagoe descends once more. One and a half minutes later, everyone's holding their breath.
Obviously, I was relieved, as the dive didn't go as I'd imagined yesterday, so today, when I managed it successfully, I felt very happy about the record. Yes, I'm very happy, as I've managed to prove that I could repeat it.
A successful dive, a new unofficial world record by 2 meters, and some unique celebrations. But what about the future?
I don't know how long I'll be doing it for. It depends on my health. And if I start getting scared of the dive, I'll quit. For now, I don't have that fear, so I'll just keep going.